The story begins with whispers circulating through the dark hallways and smoke-filled cafes scattered across the corners of the galaxy. They are tales of the Grocs, creatures known as living nightmares. Monsters with blazing eyes that shift into 1,000 strange colors, sending chills down the spine of any being who faces them. They are not merely ruthless predators, but carry with them a menacing obsession, having wiped out millions, shattered planets, and struck fear into even the greatest civilizations of the universe. The roars of the Grocs echo across distant sectors of space, an indelible warning that cannot be erased. They are not just physically powerful, their survival skills are unmatched by any technology. Since their arrival, no one in the galaxy has been able to stop panicking in the face of their might. Their armies, with rippling muscles and unpierceable scaled armor, can easily crush the defenses of planets that once ruled the stars. Despite legendary efforts, brave warriors, and cutting-edge technology, no one has been able to defeat the Grocs' brutal force. But then, in an unexpected twist, a new species, humans, those who have only recently stepped into the cosmos, rise to face them. With their crude ships and an unshakable spirit, humanity enters space with one thing that could change the tide: an insatiable curiosity and an odd determination to understand and connect with these powerful creatures. Out there, the vast galaxy remains a place full of mysteries. The greatest civilizations, equipped with the most advanced technology, had to admit defeat when facing the Grocs. Powerful warships, top-tier weapons, nothing could make the Grocs leave the planets they had claimed. Yet, humans, with their old ships that had barely made it out of Earth's atmosphere, carry something no one could predict. One small spark of hope shining faintly in the darkness of the universe. It is not technology nor weapons, but the intellect and patience of humans that offer a chance against the seemingly impossible. Humans begin to approach the Grocs in a way no other civilization ever has. Not with violence, not with strength, but with understanding, patience, and the unique ability to perceive what no other species can. This ability sets humans apart in the eyes of other species, not only surviving by their might, but by their ability to connect, understand, and communicate with beings they are not afraid of. So, while every other civilization in the galaxy has abandoned the idea of conquering the Grocs, humans step into the arena with a completely different mindset. Instead of attacking, instead of destroying, they choose to approach the situation peacefully and find a way to make allies with the creatures that strike fear into all others. With simple spacecraft and a small research team, humans begin a journey that no one believes they will succeed in. A journey full of challenges where intelligence, understanding, and observation are the keys to unlocking survival in this vast universe. In the vastness of Erebos 4, silence pervades the barren landscape, broken only by the echo of Dr. Alex Tanner's footsteps on the cold, desolate surface. The planet, with its thin dust clouds and gray, lifeless terrain, feels like an oppressive, harsh environment, but it is the perfect place to test Tanner's hypothesis. His team's preparation centers on one single goal: to approach the Grocs without hostility or invasion. Dr. Tanner, a biologist driven by an insatiable curiosity, has developed an exceptional piece of technology, a pheromone emitter capable of interacting with the Grocs' perception systems. This isn't a weapon or tool of destruction like those used by other galactic civilizations. It's a completely different approach, one based on communication and understanding. The pheromone device, carefully crafted, mimics the signals of the Grocs, attempting to establish empathy and facilitate a connection without relying on violence or coercion. Anxiety builds in Tanner as he leads his students away from the ship, stepping onto the gray, dust-choked fields. Unseen creatures, beyond anyone's imagination, are lurking, watching from the shadows. Each of their pheromone emitters is connected to specialized sensor equipment, biotechnology marvels that amplify and disperse faint signals that the Grocs can understand. As the team approaches the territory known to be inhabited by the Grocs, the atmosphere becomes heavy, as if trapped in a world void of life. The sky, heavy and gray with ominous clouds, creates an oppressive feeling, an eerie stillness that weighs down on the group. Tanner gestures for the team to stop, his hand raised towards the distance where a massive dark shape suddenly appears. It's the first sighting of the Grocs. The Grocs stand tall, their emerald scales gleaming, eyes glowing with an intense fire. They stand still, observing the group. Their appearance is intimidating, powerful, yet Tanner doesn't feel fear. His focus is on activating the pheromone emitter, hoping that his technology will work as theorized. As Tanner triggers the device, a gentle light spreads, emitting faint waves of pheromones. The air seems to still, a strange sensation fills the space, as if an invisible force is drawing the two species together. Instead of attacking, the Grocs stand motionless, quietly watching. They don't advance, but neither do they retreat. There is a silent exchange in the air, an unspoken connection neither the humans nor the Grocs can yet fully comprehend. A profound feeling washes over Tanner. He realizes that it's not strength or advanced technology that has helped them bridge the gap with the Grocs, but rather the human ability to perceive deeply, to connect through empathy. This marks a small revolution, not through new technological discoveries, but through humans understanding the world around them via their innate sensory abilities. This event sparks a major question in Tanner's mind. Can technology, with all its advancements, ever replace the natural perceptiveness and intuition that humans possess? Could it be that humans, with their superior senses and intuition, hold the key to communicating with species previously misunderstood? As Dr. Tanner's team ventured deeper into the Grocs' territory, the atmosphere grew thicker, more tense with every step. The first encounter with these colossal creatures was a tense one. Grocs, ever cautious, eyed the humans with their fiery, glowing eyes. The air crackled with an ominous energy as each movement of the research team was met with a low growl. These creatures, with their unmatched strength and predatory instincts, were not to be underestimated. The group could feel the weight of the Grocs' gaze as if every step could be their last. However, Tanner was not afraid. Instead, he remained steadfast in his belief that understanding, not violence, could bridge the gap between his species and the Grocs. While the Grocs remained suspicious, even aggressive at times, Tanner and his team didn't rush. They carefully observed the Grocs from a distance, documenting every subtle movement, every flick of their eyes. It became clear that there was more to these creatures than pure aggression. One surprising moment occurred when the team spotted a juvenile Groc. It stopped suddenly, sensing their presence behind a boulder. Instead of charging, the young Groc stood still, its eyes glowing with curiosity. It studied the humans for what seemed like an eternity, but there was no aggression in its stance. Tanner held his breath as the creature slowly turned and walked away, not fleeing, but moving past them, completely nonchalant. This unexpected interaction made the tension around the group ease. It was the first hint that Grocs might not be the mindless predators they had always been portrayed to be. The discovery that curiosity might be embedded in their nature led Tanner to believe that communication with these creatures could indeed be possible. Still, the tension didn't dissipate. As the team moved forward, they encountered fully grown Grocs, their shimmering scales gleaming in the dim light of Erebos 4. The sight was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The ground seemed to tremble beneath their feet as the Grocs' roars reverberated across the barren landscape. Despite their intimidating presence, there was something different this time. The creatures didn't move in to attack immediately. Instead, they seemed to challenge the team, testing whether humans were worthy of passing through their territory. The situation took another turn when one of Tanner's students, Jenna, strayed too far from the safe zone. She inadvertently triggered the attention of a young Groc, which charged toward her at incredible speed. The team froze, anticipating an attack. But just as suddenly, the Groc stopped, sniffing the air. It seemed to recognize the pheromones from Tanner's device, and after a moment's hesitation, it retreated, disappearing into the shadows. The group breathed a collective sigh of relief. What should have been a dangerous encounter turned into a curious, non-hostile interaction. The realization hit Tanner that it wasn't just about brute force. The Grocs were capable of understanding, or at least reacting, to the pheromone signals. For the first time, Tanner began to believe that their connection could go beyond mere survival. It could be the start of something more profound. The tension remained, though, as the team continued their research. With each new encounter, the Grocs tested their boundaries, observing the humans closely. The group continued their careful study, taking note of every change in the creature's behavior. But the most striking realization came from a series of odd, almost humorous moments. Despite the ever-present danger, the team managed to share moments of lightheartedness with the Grocs. One evening, as Jeremy, a student, accidentally tripped while avoiding a fully grown Groc, the group couldn't help but laugh. "Careful there, Jeremy. I think the Grocs might be eyeing their dinner," another student joked. The situation, which could have been a life-threatening encounter, turned into a moment of unexpected comedy. This playful exchange broke the tension and allowed the humans to see that even in the face of danger, they could find a way to communicate with the Grocs without fear. It became clear to Tanner that the key to bridging the gap between the two species lay in more than just patience. It was in the ability to use curiosity, humor, and mutual understanding to connect. From that point on, Tanner and his team understood that establishing a relationship with the Grocs was not about overpowering them, but rather about recognizing their shared experiences and building a bond based on mutual respect. In the days that followed, as Tanner's team continued to build understanding and a connection with the Grocs, a surprising discovery opened up new horizons. Tanner began to realize something he had never dared to consider before. The Grocs were not merely creatures of brute strength and savage brutality. Instead, they possessed a level of perception and communication that even the most sophisticated species in the galaxy had yet to achieve. Tanner realized that, throughout their research, he had been too focused on using technology and tactics to control the Grocs. In reality, what humanity needed to do was understand them. While ancient civilizations had tried to dominate the Grocs with force and advanced technology, humans were finding an entirely different approach, exploring the language and subtle signals the Grocs used to communicate with each other. The simple but complex exchanges between humans and Grocs began to reveal an astonishing truth. Grocs were not mindless beasts, but a species with intelligence, emotions, and even the ability to understand human feelings and motivations. This revelation turned Tanner and his team's previous assumptions on their heads. They realized that the Grocs might not be the brutal enemies they had imagined, but could, in fact, become allies. When Tanner looked into the glowing eyes of an adult Groc, he saw not only wildness, but also curiosity, a quality that humans could connect with. This realization wasn't failure. It was the beginning of a profound change. Other species in the galaxy, with their advanced intelligence and superior technology, had failed to confront the Grocs. But humans, with their ability to listen and understand what couldn't be seen with the naked eye, had found the key to communication. Civilizations that once viewed the Grocs as an uncontrollable threat now saw them through an entirely different lens. Tanner no longer saw an enemy, but an opportunity to build a connection, to form an alliance instead of engaging in a confrontation. By understanding the language and the signals the Grocs used within their society, Tanner and his team began to realize that the Grocs didn't have to be enemies. They could be powerful allies who could support humans in larger conflicts. This relationship, though new and challenging, opened up a new future for both species. From an absolute threat, the Grocs were gradually becoming friends and allies in a universe full of unexplored mysteries. With this shift in perspective, Tanner began to feel that technology wasn't everything. No technology, no matter how advanced, could replace the ability to understand and connect between species. As he and his team continued their journey with the Grocs, they not only learned how to survive, but also how to respect and cooperate. This was the turning point for Tanner and humanity, a turning point that would change how humans faced alien species, not with force, but with a deep understanding of their nature. The atmosphere in the military base was thick with tension. On the display screens, graphs and data of ongoing space battles flashed, with red lines signaling the enemy's campaigns as they attacked peaceful planets. The situation grew increasingly desperate as the enemy forces, with their superior technology and devastating military might, inched closer every day. At this critical moment, the Grocs, creatures once regarded by humanity as an unstoppable threat, were called upon to join the deadly war. These Groc warriors, with their superior strength and brutal hunting instincts, could very well be the key to turning the tide. But this time, the battle was not just about the raw power of muscle. It was about the intersection of the Grocs' natural strength and the resilience, patience, and understanding of humanity. In the decisive hours, with all eyes focused on the battlefield, Dr. Tanner and his team, those who had fought to understand the Grocs, now faced a life-or-death decision. Could the bond and respect they had built with the Grocs transcend the brutal chaos of war, or would it all be buried under the weight of destruction? As the brutal battle began, humans and Grocs found themselves facing a common enemy, an alien empire with superior technology and cruel tactics. The Grocs, once untamable predators, were now fighting not out of obedience or command, but because of the feelings of respect and connection they had received from humans. They were no longer just vicious beasts, but warriors fighting to protect their allies. The Grocs fought not just because of their instincts, but because of the respect they had for humanity, those who had never seen them as monsters, but as creatures capable of communication, understanding, and companionship. The greatness of this battle wasn't about the clash of technologies or advanced weaponry, but about the bond between different species, fighting not for domination, but for the survival of the beings and worlds they protected. With each strategy and victory, humans and Grocs together created a triumph not just in military terms, but in the triumph of connection. The Grocs, with their deep understanding of humans and their ability to perceive beyond mere instinct, became powerful allies in a battle no one had previously imagined. This war was not one of strength and technology, but a victory of understanding, perseverance, and the willingness to work together to protect the most important values of life. The silence of space enveloped everything, a vast expanse teeming with untold stories. The battle had ended, but within Nera and her team, a great question began to form. It wasn't just a question of victory, but of what would come next, of the existence and future of humanity in this boundless universe. As humans and Grocs fought side by side, and as the bond between these once opposing species was tested and strengthened, one important question arose. Can humanity continue to maintain such connections with other beings in the universe? Or will, in the wake of their victory and newfound strength, they return to the path of war, conquest, and the destruction of what they cannot understand? Will the resilience and superior perception of humanity continue to be the foundation upon which they create peace and build bonds with alien species? Or is it merely a fleeting moment, a pause between rage and respect? How can humans maintain this profound understanding when facing more powerful forces and unprecedented challenges in the universe? Tanner's words still echoed in Nera's mind. We don't fight just with technology. We fight with the ability to understand, to feel, and to connect. This question lingered not only in Nera's heart, but across the entire universe. Will humanity's natural abilities, its perception and resilience, continue to help them survive in a world where everything can change in an instant? The story is not over, and the universe has yet to allow humanity to answer this great question. The answer of the future could lead to unpredictable changes, a mysterious open ending with decisions that can only be revealed with time.